We are on day 2. I've done about 4 hours of sanding and about 4 hours of staining. I had to speed it up a little bit because it started raining outside. So, we've got it just about covered. That's a lot of wood. Doesn't look like much now, but man, when you start getting into every square inch of it, it really does speed up. And there's a cat getting his paws all stained. Get off! Off! Get off! There. Cool. Yeah, and I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, when you wipe off the excess of the paint, or stain in this case, you need to make sure that you leave it open and well ventilated so that it can dry and not spontaneously combust and create a nasty fire inside your garage where all your expensive tools and hard work has been done. So, there we go. And that should conclude it for now. We'll come back when I start constructing it. Alright, we're back for a brief moment. I'm just showing you my general idea. Now, mind you, I'm kind of a new woodworker. I'm young, so I'm just kind of learning as I go. I'm not going by any plans or schematics or anything. So I'm just kind of laying this out here, and I'm screwing into these little boards here. Not sure if you can kind of see how those boards are. I'm just kind of screwing in with big deck screws on an angle, and I'll hold these in here, and it'll give it something to drill into for the big 4x4 legs I'm going to put in each corner. Then, to reinforce it, I'll kind of put the same exact thing on the bottom, about a foot off the ground, connected to the legs. And then I'll probably put a piece of OSB as a shelf to put tools and things. So that's pretty much the idea. I'll bring you back for that in just a minute. Okay, so we've got the boards in and the legs in, and now we're working on the bottom braces, or whatever you want to call them. I don't really know the terminology, I just kind of know the fundamentals as to how it works. So as you can see, I marked 10 inches around each side so that they would be nice and at least level with the boards that I cut perfectly and placed. And I lowered it down, as you can see. I'm not using the sawhorses anymore. I'm actually using a milk crate, but so I could work a little bit more, at proper level, so that it's not so difficult for me to reach all the way up here, because it was like all the way up here. And so that's how I'm doing it. And I'm countersinking these screws, and for the purposes of actually, the screws that are holding this on are hidden by the legs, so it just looks like they're just in here somehow, some way. So I had to take a mill bastard file here, because it's not quite fine, not quite coarse, that's what it's called, and flatten out the areas. They're also countersunk, so I was just flattening out the wood chips and stuff, so they fit in there nice and perfectly. Hey, it's a good pointer, look at that. That's how it works. So I'll catch you when I got all these in, and I'm going to put the OSB as a little shelf. It'll look really neat. Say hello to my very first attempt at a workbench. Looking good, huh? There was one slight mismeasurement on the legs. This corner leg here, it was 1/32 of an inch off, which made it wobble terribly. So I very carefully, with a handsaw, which I'm actually quite proficient at, I guess it's just a natural thing, I cut a nice little wedge that is flat. It's basically a shim. You can barely tell it's there. I just slapped some wood glue on it, and it's splooging out right now, if that's a word. And I'll just keep kind of sopping it up as it splooges out. But it is working. It is very sturdy, and it does not wobble at all now. And one more thing is I will put a piece of OSB here. I'll cut it to let it in to these areas. I may have to put a cross beam across here in one direction or the other, because I'm going to have to cut the OSB in half in order to slip one side in and slip the other side in. So that's the way that's going to work. Now that I learned from all these mistakes, I'll start working on the garden table, which is essentially the same thing. I got all the wood here already prepped and ready to go, and it's going to go onto that big piece over there. That's the bottom. It actually is like a dark gray on the top. So, I'll bring you along for that too, but this video will go up first. Have a good day.